What's going on, everyone? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, back again with another view from the van, and with the Liverpool game firmly in the rear view mirror, now looking towards this weekend's game against Crystal Palace. And of course I'm wondering, can Mickey smash another fucking worldie into the fucking top of the fucking net and send Crystal Palace back down to London with no points? I've certainly got everything crossed for that, and it's certainly also been a hectic few days for Newcastle United. Eddie Howe's press conference today, I'll stay away from the transfer stuff and the Liverpool stuff, but looking towards Crystal Palace, he has ruled Callum Wilson out. He will not be playing Isaac. That's a different kettle of fish altogether. He had a bit of a dead leg during the Liverpool game and we really missed him when he went off, but he should be absolutely fine to make his home debut tomorrow, so looking forward to that immensely after the the 60 odd minute debut cameo that he gave. 2 goals, 1 absolutely fucking shockingly ruled out, but corrupt refs and all that sort of thing, and unbelievable finish from a great Sean Longstaff pass for the opener. So he'll make his home debut. Callum Wilson misses out again, but there's every chance I think that he will be back for the game next weekend. Question marks still remain over Bruno and ASM. I think the fact that there is question marks will mean that they will miss out as well, and we'll see them back in a week's time. We get a week's break after this match to prepare for the West Ham game, which will be a massive game on home soil next weekend. So yeah, we're going to have quite a few players still missing, and that is disappointing. But it's just part and parcel of modern football. It's certainly part and parcel of a season where some numpty stuck a fucking World Cup right in the bastard middle of it. But hey ho. In other news, there's only 13 more games until the January transfer window and all. But yeah, I've got a feeling that those players are going to miss out. So that's going to mean that the remaining squad has to, probably pull double duty. I think Eddie would have liked to have rotated for this game. And although I do expect a few changes to be made, it's not as many as I think he would have liked to have made, with games coming so thick and fast. 3 away games in a row, a couple of days apart, every single one of them is far from ideal, especially as well when you're coming off the back of a Manchester City game, then a very physical game in the Cup, and then obviously our exploits against Wolves and Liverpool and all the shenanigans that came around that. And I just noticed I've lit up all red all of a sudden. I'm at the traffic light, so don't get concerned. So yeah, the players are going to be running certainly a bit on empty. Crystal Palace have had an extra day of preparation for this game, and that's going to be a big factor. If it's not free flowing, if it's not champagne, if it's not top-notch Newcastle performance, we've been getting a lot of good performances recently, then there is mitigating circumstances. But I still expect the lads to put in a heck of a shift and also take up that fucking bottled rage, that bottled fury from the calamitous game, the calamitous refereeing, certainly against Anfield. I expect them to bottle that up and to be taking that out against Crystal Palace. Palace are a good side, though. It must be remembered Zaha's on fire. They've got quite a few really, really good players. They're a team that likes to sit back and counter-attack, and if we're not on top of the game, then we're going to be in for a rude awakening. So Eddie's got to get them up for it, and he's got to make the changes in a really, really careful and measured way. I expect Fabian Schär to come back in. I expect Botman to come in at the back. So it's then the question mark over left back to put Dan Burn in at left back. Dan Burn's been doing fantastically well there recently, but of course Matt Targett last time out, he handled the Egyptian Obertan with fucking ease, it must be said. So there's a strong case to keep him there at left back, because obviously he's missed a few games prior to that. And at right back, it has to be Kieran Trippier. We weren't able to bring in anybody else to help on the right hand side. Mankio has played no football over the summer, so I can't imagine him throwing him in at the deep end. So you'd imagine Kieran Trippier would continue the duties at a right back. In the middle of the park, it obviously depends largely on if Bruno's back, but I don't believe that Bruno will be back for this game, and subsequently I can't imagine him making many changes. Willock could possibly do with a rest after all of what he's put in. So there will be a clamour, there will be an outside chance for, I think, for Elliot Anderson being involved somewhere in the midfield setup this time out. But for the time being, I think it'll be the same. It'll be Joe Linton, Sean Longstaff and Willick. And then the two in front of them, and this is the interesting bit, I think, for me. You've got Ryan Fraser, who, a bit like Wilson, he needs his game time managed effectively, and I think that'll stop so many injuries happening in the future. And you can only do that when you've got options, and you can take them out for a few games, put them in for a few games, and you manage their condition through the season and their fitness through the season. But for this game, despite the work and the effort and what Miggy's got through, I think Miggy's natural fitness, I think Miggy will continue in there. And then it's the other side, and I look at Jacob Murphy not having many minutes recently, and I wonder, and then I also think about Elliot Anderson. Could you put him in on the left hand side? That is a possibility as well. So I've got a feeling it might be either Murphy or Elliot Anderson on the other side behind, you know, Isaac. The other way, of course, he could do it is drop Isaac into one of the attacking midfield positions alongside Miggy Almiron, and then play Chris Wood up top. That is an option, that is a possibility. But I think you saw when it came to Anfield, when he came on, Chris Wood, he just wasn't able to ask the questions and operate in the same way and fit into the system as well as what Isaac did. So I think that would be a little bit of a hamstring to the setup of the team if he was to start with Wood. So that's why I think they'll go Isaac up top, and he'll go for one of either Jacob Murphy or Elliot Anderson in from one of the wide midfield positions, and then take it like that. Now you've just got to then hope and pray that we don't get any more niggles, injuries or anything else like that, because we're not too far away from having some of these injured players back, and that'll be a massive boost to the, you know, to the squad. ASM, he said today, there's no rip, there's no tear, there's no strain, it's a little bit of swelling, so he's been ultra cautious with the Frenchman. Doesn't want to risk an injury to ASM, especially when he's in such fantastic, scintillating form, if I can actually pronounce anything today. It's been a long one today. So he's not wanting to risk, so he's being ultra cautious, and that is Eddie Howe's way, isn't it? He does like to play injuries in an ultra cautious way, and that's why I don't think the others will be involved, to be honest. So that's how I think Newcastle are going to set up. Crystal Palace will set up to sit back and to break, and with Zaha in absolutely red hot form, we need to be fucking all over it. But you know, defensively, touch wood and all that. Obviously Chris Wood isn't here, or you know, but you know, our defence has been a strength this season. So if Sven Botman comes in, if Shah comes in, I think they're more than capable of doing a job on Palace, don't get me wrong. But this is going to be a very, very close game, as it's been for the past couple of seasons, and I think there'll be the odd goal in it. You'd think a 2-1, you'd perhaps think maybe a 1-0, either way it could go. But Miggy does like Crystal Palace, so I'm going to go 1-0, and I'm also going to predict boldly that Miggy Almiron gets in on the action and continues his goal scoring touch against Crystal Palace. Let me know down below what you think with regards to formation and the scoreline's going to be. I'm looking forward to the game greatly. I need to get that Liverpool game out of my fucking system. With fucking Minge face on the side of the fucking pitch, Mr. Flappy Fanny face, jumping around like an absolute fucking fairy in the rest of Newcastle coaches' faces. It was absolutely fucking disgusting. Left such a bad taste. I can't wait for the reverse fixture, I really can't. Winning through basically just playing as much stoppage time as they needed until Liverpool scored, and yeah, it was absolutely shocking. We deserved at the least a point out of that game, and then coming off the pitch after a 2-1 narrow defeat, the scenes from the Liverpool supporters will live long. I've always respected Liverpool in a sort of similar working class area, similar sort of setup to ourselves, but I've lost a lot of respect for what I saw on that evening, and the complaining and the whining and the bitching. Nobody does it like Klopp, and he never used to do it when he first come, and I think most people actually quite liked him when he first come. but he's a bit like a fart in a lift at the moment. It just leaves that fucking stale, awful smell that even the fucking best can of Febreze can't fucking get rid of. But Liverpool are a long way behind Manchester City, and karma will get them in the arse, no doubt about it, and we'll all have a good laugh about it. But until the return fixture comes, we'll have to put that one down to experience, and hopefully what's been said in the press conference today about refereeing and noticing and that sort of thing will get us a few decisions, because it has been very evident this season against Manchester City, against Brighton, against Wolves, whether the opposition player was that desperate to get hold of the Saudi-style Newcastle top that he was literally trying to rip it off the back of Sean Longstaff. It's funny that. And then again, this offside goal against Liverpool, we are being shafted left, right and fucking centre, and the cheek of the referees calling themselves professionals and experts and full-time and shadows and not sure even when you're looking at the screen is unbelievable. It's a shocking state of affairs, so much for benefit to the attacking team, but that one's down in history now. It hurt. It made, I think, most Newcastle fans extremely angry and pissed off. I was raging after the game. Fuck me, I was ready to fucking chuck my granny out in the back fucking garden, launch head fucking first. I was that annoyed and that pissed off, like. But a couple of days been away today with the kids, mellowed out, ready for tomorrow's action and drama and stuff. And like I say, you just hope that the lads aren't too much hurt by what has gone on. And Eddie Howe come out today in the press conference talking about the fact that there's not a lot of love in amongst the rest of the 19 other clubs for Newcastle United. Nobody wanted to do business, nobody wanted to do us any favours, which makes the Dubravka deal even more unusual. So why should we do anyone any favours if no one's willing to do us favours back as well? So yeah, Eddie touched on the transfer window, said he was extremely pleased. Look, we spent over £220 million this calendar year, and you put that into context of the 10 years of absolutely nothing, and I think it has been an amazing window. Yes, I think we were all desperate for a midfielder and another right winger coming in and a little bit more business, but he's already said that the wheels are in motion with regards to the January transfer window, which is only 13 games away, and like I touched on before, so there's not a massive chunk before we're able to again trade and bring in players. And by the sounds of what he said today, we will be active in that window as well. Of course, Newcastle were working on deals all through yesterday, but again, like the West Ham all of a sudden decided to pull the rug on the deal at the 11th hour. And yeah, it's shenanigans, it's fucktardery and stuff like that, but again, the club, the new executive team who's come in need to be able to work with that and remember it, and just remember that when they come for one of our players or need assistance or a loan or whatever, then they need to mark that one down. But I think it says a lot actually in a positive light that they don't really want to deal with us, because I think they know that we're competition to them in the league. It's a worry for them in the league. It's the same with Chelsea. If we were irrelevant to them, if we were beneath them or below them or weren't going to be at their level or weren't on a massive upward level and learning curve, I think they would deal with us as they have done in the past with the likes of Kennedy and so on and so forth. And now they're a little bit more reluctant because they can see that the beast, the giant has been awoken, and Newcastle are on the up, no doubt about it. It just suddenly goes dark as I go through a bit of a bridge and stuff. We're recording this late on Friday, obviously, with everything else that's gone off and games coming thick and fast at the moment. So yeah, they're not wanting to do us any favours, but that's because it's worried that it might affect them and their league position in the long term run of things. So it's a bit of a compliment, but yeah, nobody wants to work with us, nobody wants to do us a favour. Yeah, hated, adored, but never fucking ignored Newcastle United, and we need to get used to the booing as we come off the pitch and stuff like that. Take it as a compliment, because last season and the last few seasons nobody would have done that. We'd have got the sympathy vote and told how nice Steve Bruce is. Now he's a family man, and our mate Ashley, he's such a great guy and a great owner, and he's a British owner and blah blah. He does everything for us. We'd have got that shit in years gone by, but now we're just getting envy as everybody can see that this club is coming together, it's united, and everybody else could hate us, but the club, the executives, the ownership, the players, the fans are all coming together as one. Everybody's fucking uniting as one, and together I honestly don't think that we can be beaten. And you know, performances where we go to Anfield and put up a good you know, punch of things, performances like against Manchester City and so on and so forth, give you a little bit of an insight into what the future could hold. You know, a spend of over £220 million this calendar year gives you a little bit of an insight into what the future may hold. Newcastle United definitely on an upward spiral. I'm personally happy, like I said, with all the signings that we've made. We've improved the defence, we've improved the attack. Yes, we potentially could have done more, but Eddie Howe was really careful to stress that it has to be the right characters, the right people, and that we can't afford to make mistakes as we're on this upward learning curve as it is. So yeah, really confidence, 100% trust in those, the custodians who are running the club, 100% trust, and I just can't wait to see what, you know, what the future holds. And for now, we just concentrate on the performances on the pitch, supporting the lads, with, again, safe in the knowledge that plans are being made for January to have the best possible season that we can have, and then we go again and again and again and look to improve and improve and improve. Yeah, and all of those evil looks and stuff like that, we can just sit and soak it all up. Soak it all up. A lot of jealousy, a lot of envy, a lot of green eyed monsters and stuff out there, but you know, if they look at the ownerships, they're not perfect. They're from, you know, this, that and the other, but we could get into that. That's a whole separate video. But yeah, top and bottom of it is, I'm really pleased with the business that the club has done. You know, if somebody had said a year ago you'll smash your transfer record and then buy some, and you're going to be signing one of the hot prospect defenders, new goalkeeper, taking that to a new level, Matt Target coming in as well, and I thought you were off your head. I thought that you were some sort of fucking glue sniffer. So it's absolutely amazing to see it get better. And, you know, 8 players in, I think 8 players out, including the likes of Vilker, who went out on loan and stuff. But everybody who's gone out have gone out to, you know, lower leveled clubs or championship clubs, or, you know, to play at a slightly lower level abroad or whatever. And that shows you what the problems were of years gone by. And the players that we are bringing in to replace them are all players that we need, and players of, you know, absolute undoubted quality. Yes, there's a question mark still over Wood, but I think with everybody else, you can see that the club is getting rid of players who aren't going to take them any further on the journey, and we're looking to bring in players who can make that next step up, who can take the club to where ultimately the club wants to be. And it's all just about adding to that now, bit by bit, and the jigsaw's getting built up piece by piece all a fucking long. So yes, frustrations with the Liverpool game, the referees again shafting Newcastle over for the 4th or 5th time this season. Alone's been 4 or 5 contentious decisions in the games that we've played so far. A difficult run of away fixtures. Happy with the transfer window in a whole. It's been an enjoyable experience with regards to the fact that we can be positive again about the football club. We can be happy. We can see speculation and smile and know that there's a chance for these things actually happening. And you know, to do deals like the Isaac one, £60 million, is bang, it's done, it's announced, it's sorted. Sven Botman, you know, it's just amazing. It's great days to be a Newcastle United supporter, and we look forward to tomorrow's game. That's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult, narrow, nervy thing, but with the crowd right behind, war flags, the noise, you know, the bottled up energy and emotion off Wednesday, I think that can do enough to get us over the line, get the 3 points, continue the push up the table, and then it allows us that little bit of breathing space to get some of our you know, first pick players back available for a tricky game next week at home against West Ham. So let me know about it all down below, and please do subscribe to Magpie 24/7. It does mean a heck of a lot. Click like on the video, subscribe to the channel, notifications on if you don't mind as well. It costs nothing, but it helps us out massively. We are trying to push the channel, grow the channel, and your support is very, very, very much appreciated. But in the meantime, yeah, take care, keep it tuned. 3 points tomorrow. Come on, Miggy. You know you want to have another absolute thunder cunt, don't you? So yeah, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.